So Paralives, the new life simulation game, has been publicly available in early access for a few days now. It's currently being sold on Steam for around 40 USD, more or less depending on your region's pricing. And after spending way too many hours playing it, I've already come across a bunch of lesser known features, hidden details, and secrets that some of you may not know about. Hello everyone, this is Abi aka Onlyabidoang. Yes, I started using facecam since 42 videos ago, and thankfully my chickenpox is getting a lot better now. Anyway, today I'm going to show you 21 secret features and hidden details in Paralives that you may have missed. So without further ado, let's check out these features. Melino, the town you live in, has plenty of places to explore. One of the most interesting is the town hall/library, which looks like some kind of a medieval castle straight out of a history book. You can read books there, check out your donated treasures, and do a bunch of other activities. However, you may also notice some inaccessible areas upstairs, like this abandoned looking room or this tower with a treasure chest sitting at the top. You might even receive hints about the mysterious tower through the daily newspaper. So how do you actually get up there? Well, if you take a closer look at the third floor while using wall view, you'll notice this oddly placed fireplace. Clicking on it reveals a secret passageway. Once inside, your para will enter another hidden room filled with even more secret pathways, usually disguised as bookshelves, wardrobes, or floor hatches. Pick the wrong one and you'll get sent all the way back to the beginning, so you'll need to remember the correct route. If you manage to navigate through the right passages, you will eventually reach the abandoned sections of the castle, some of which honestly look pretty creepy, with cobweb-covered rooms and even skeletons lying around. After successfully making your way through the maze, you'll finally reach the previously inaccessible top of the tower and open the treasure chest. And what's inside? Well, you get Enroque, a royal-looking rock with googly eyes and lipstick marks on its cheek. Yeah, for now it's basically just a decorative object, but it's still a pretty fun trophy since you can't obtain it anywhere else. In Melino, you may come across this tunnel connected to the train tracks. At first, it just looks like part of the scenery, but you can actually click on the tunnel and travel through it. After a short while, your para will emerge on the other side, which leads to an area behind a museum near a cliffside. And if you continue walking along the rest of the train tracks, you will eventually run into a pretty disturbing sight. A skeleton sitting there with a backpack beside it. Unfortunately, you can't really interact with it since it's currently just decorative scenery. Naturally, this has led to a bunch of fan theories about who the skeleton could be. The strongest theory right now is that it may be the deceased son of the Patel household. Their household is in a very rough condition, and inside there's a neat-looking boyish bedroom that strongly suggests they once had a son who passed away. Hopefully, we'll learn more about this lore once the family trees gets implemented into the game. When building a house, the floor height limit in this game is honestly pretty insane. I tried building as many floors as possible during my testing, and I managed to reach a whopping 40 floors before the game stopped letting me build higher. That's already tall enough to basically create a skyscraper in this game. And yes, you can even place stairs between every floor and have your para travel all the way to the top to enjoy the view. However, after doing a bit more research, I found out that some players have apparently managed to build over 500 floors. I genuinely have no idea what I did differently to hit the limit so early. Maybe it's because those tests were done in an empty world lots, or maybe it has something to do with my PC performance or the lot I was building on. But yeah, the sky is the limit apparently, aka it's unlimited. Just keep in mind that building this high will absolutely hurt your game's performance though. If you spend some time in Paralives build mode, you may have already come across a few clown-themed objects scattered through the catalog. First, there's the clown door, which has the unique ability to play a clown horn sound effect every time someone walks through it. It's honestly pretty funny. Then there's a cute clown plushie that paras can play with. After that comes the clown fridge, which works just like a normal refrigerator. However, if you talk to someone near it, a special together card may appear where your paras can express their discomfort about the clown fridge. This can even generate a want to sell it, which can then be fulfilled by actually getting rid of the thing. Finally, there's one more clown-themed object that isn't found in buy mode at all. Instead, you can purchase a clown chair from one of the stalls at the Sunday market. At first glance, all of these just seem like goofy clown-themed decorations with nothing usual about them. However, if you pay close attention when the clock strikes 1 AM, something unsettling happens. The clown faces on these objects suddenly change expression. The clown faces stick their tongues out, while the clown plushie's face turns downright evil. This lasts until 3 AM, after which everything returns to normal. Yeah, whoever designed these objects definitely knew exactly what they were doing. At 12 AM each day, there's a small chance that your camera will suddenly shake for a brief moment, followed by a notification saying that something happened in town. The next morning, however, you might notice a headline in the newspaper mentioning that a meteor crash was reported by the astronomy club near the community center. And if you actually head over there, you'll find that the event really happened. A burning meteorite will be sitting in a crater in the ground. The only thing you can currently do with it is collect it. Once you pick it up, the crater disappears and a meteorite is added to your inventory. From there, you can either display it as a decorative object in your home or sell it for 400 paradimes. Unfortunately, you cannot actually witness the meteor falling from the sky, nor can it crash into or kill any paras at the time I'm recording this. Around the town, you may come across these vending machines where you can buy some snacks for you to eat. There's also the option to vandalize it as well, where you'll use a crowbar to break the whole thing. And with a vandalized vending machine, you'll unlock the option to obtain the snacks from the vending machine for free now, which is perfect for you broke rags to riches players out there. At the moment though, there seem to be no consequences for doing this. You might already know about the flexibility of the color wheels in Paralives, which lets you customize the appearance of almost every object in buy mode. But did you know about this hidden feature? When you're holding a pattern, such as a wall pattern, press and hold the Alt key on your keyboard and hover over an object or piece of furniture. You can actually apply that same pattern to specific parts of the objects you're hovering over. This works not only with wall patterns, but also with floor patterns, ceiling finishes, and even roof patterns. So if you thought customization in this game was already crazy, this feature takes it to another level. Now go even crazier with this knowledge. When starting a new game through the training intro, you'll have the option to play as one of the several pre-made households. One of them is the Marquez household, consisting of Sebastian and his son Eli. However, if you read their household description closely, it mentions that Sebastian is hiding an unexpected secret. Now, if you choose to play as a different household instead, you can still visit the Marquez home in the town. At first glance, it looks like a perfectly normal house. But if you explore a little more carefully, you'll discover a hidden bookshelf door that leads down into the basement. Inside the basement, you'll find a secret floor hatch, similar to the ones found in the castle maze. Traveling through it will transport your para to the ruins near the community center. Interestingly, this hatch only works one way, meaning you cannot use the ruins hatch to return to Sebastian's basement. So why is the Marquez house connected to the ruins? For now, nobody really knows. Hopefully, it'll be revealed as the game continues to develop through early access. Since you start in an open world and there are still no cars at the current early access version, your paras can only go to places on foot, which may take a long while. However, Melino also provides bus services you can use. If you click on any bus stop, you can choose other bus stops you want to go to and your para will be transported there. So it's sort of like a fast travel option. Each time you take a bus costs you 3 paradimes. There's no option to make this an autonomous interaction when going somewhere at the moment, so you need to directly command your paras to do so. Paras usually learn new recipes as they level up their cooking skill, but not every para learns the exact same recipes at each level. Instead, recipes need to be discovered and learned separately. One way to do this is through the general store, where you can learn up to 2 recipes per day for 100 paradimes by clicking on this recipe book here. After that, you'll need to wait until the next day before learning more. Interestingly, some of the recipes you unlock may be far above your current cooking level. You can still attempt to cook them, of course, but every dish has its own success rate, and some may even have a 0% chance of success. And if you decide to cook one of those anyway, well, let's just say a house fire is pretty much guaranteed. If you'd rather not spend money, there's also a free alternative. You can learn 1 recipe per day using the computer. There's a random chance that a garbage day event will occur in town. When it does, you may find residents leaving unwanted items in front of their houses for others to take. And yes, you can actually grab these objects for free. Most of the time, you'll find random furniture and decorations, but occasionally you can come across surprisingly valuable or expensive items. You can either keep them and use them in your own home or sell them for some extra paradimes. So for all the rags to riches players out there, Garbage Day can be an absolute goldmine. You may occasionally come across a newspaper headline where the mayor expresses concern about graffiti appearing around town. If that happens, you might spot graffiti painted on the ground while exploring. For example, I found the word liar spray painted right in front of someone's house. On another occasion, I came across one that simply said cheater. Unfortunately, you cannot clean up the graffiti yourself, but it does disappear on the following day. I'm not entirely sure where all the possible locations are, but so far I found graffiti appearing in front of the Pelletier household, the Debelcourt household, and even the Chen household. Whoa, what kind of town drama is going on here? In the same general store where you can learn new recipes, you may occasionally find an expensive mushroom greenhouse for sale. It costs a whopping 25k paradigms, and interestingly, it cannot be purchased anywhere else, not even through build mode. So if you want one, the general store is your only option. Once purchased and placed on your lot, the greenhouse will gradually produce one random type of mushroom each day that you can harvest. At least that's how it's supposed to work. In my case, it seemed to be a little bug because whenever I told my parent to collect the mushroom, after the swiping animation, nothing happened. Fortunately, you can still harvest it by using the button that sends the mushroom directly to your inventory. From there, you can donate the mushroom to the museum, keep it for your collection, or sell it for some extra cash. I already explained in the previous features video that you can become homeless by selling your own property and use cheats to remove your money. But turns out there's a more reliable and non-cheaty way to do this. First, when selecting a storyteller, use the custom settings and change the starting money to 0. Then, when you're directed to choose a property to live, click on this triple dots icon and an option to play without a lot will appear. This leads to you starting the game from the train station with 0 money and nowhere to live. Now go out there and begin your homeless rags to riches challenge properly. On the opposite end of the spectrum, owning just one home might be a bit boring. So how about owning multiple properties instead? Because in Paralives, your household can actually purchase multiple residential lots at the same time. Once you've bought them, you can freely edit each property without cheats, stay there whenever you want, and keep those lots loaded up and always available to your household. One thing to keep in mind is that if you use the Go Home command, your para will always return to the very first property your household purchased. However, they can still live, sleep, and spend time in any of the other homes they own. And of course, if you ever decide you don't need a property anymore, you can simply sell it later. Whenever you receive mail, most commonly utility bills, you can click on the stamp attached to the envelope to collect it and add it to your stamp collection. Yes, you can actually collect these stamps, and you can view your collection through the household inventory menu. The fastest way to collect stamps is by ordering items like flowers and diamond rings repeatedly from the computer, since each delivery comes with its own piece of mail. Utility bills only arrive once a week, another mail is from a warning from your job when you're about to get fired, and receiving personal letters from other pal folks isn't really a feature yet if I recall correctly. Keep in mind that you can still receive duplicate stamps, so collecting them all may take some time. At the moment, there doesn't seem to be any reward for completing the entire collection, but that could always change in the future. And don't be surprised if you spot stamps featuring other indie games such as Among Us or Boyfriend Dungeon. They're part of a collaboration that was included since the game's launch. Also, you can still open old mails you've already received and claim any stamps you haven't collected yet. In the park located at the top of the hill, you may come across a zipline that is surprisingly interactable. At first, I thought it would work like it did in the old trailers, where you can actually watch your para ride down the zipline. Unfortunately, that's not how it works right now. Instead, the zipline currently functions as a fast travel system. When you use it, the screen fades to black for a brief moment, and your para is transported to the area near the castle plaza. The developers have previously stated that the fully animated zipline feature isn't included in early access yet, so for now it's just a convenience shortcut. That said, there's still hope that the ability to actually ride the zipline will return in future update. There's an amazing cheat called toggleedittown. Once enabled, it lets you edit anything beyond your own residential lot. And I mean anything. It's perfect if you want to customize the entire town to your liking. You can remove trees, duplicate bus stops, add utility poles, which, fun fact, will automatically connect wires between one another, build a small hut on the beach, place giant boulders in the middle of the roads, add fences, and much more. The craziest part is that some things you'd never expect to be editable are apparently treated as objects. You can literally move the ocean or even manipulate parts of the seafloor. In fact, I managed to flood the entirety of Melino by raising the ocean level, resulting in this Atlantis-like version of the town. That said, be very careful with this cheat. Since it gives you access to pretty much everything, it's also very easy to break things accidentally. I highly recommend experimenting with it on a separate save rather than your main one. For example, I once accidentally deleted the entire ocean and couldn't figure out how to get it back. Another time, I tried modifying the hospital rabbit hole and somehow soft-locked my game. My mouse got stuck, I couldn't interact with anything, and the only way out was through Task Manager. So yeah, watch out. In the town library, there's a Hall of Fame style area where portraits of various paras are displayed. If your para has the highest level in a particular skill compared to everyone else in the town, their portrait will appear here as the town's master of that skill. Interestingly, you don't actually need to max out a skill to earn a spot on the wall. At least for now, that's fairly easy to achieve because story progression for non-playable townies isn't particularly aggressive yet. As a result, many of the Hall of Fame spots can end up being dominated by members of your own household. But if you're playing with a single para and try to build up all the skills here, the wall can start looking a little ridiculous because you're the only one filling up the portraits here, like that one SpongeBob Employee of the Month scene. In Paramaker, if you click on the 3-dot button next to your para's name, you'll find several additional naming options. You can add a nickname, include a middle name, switch the name order so the last name appears first, or even remove the first name or last name entirely. Heck, if you really want to, you can remove both and create a completely nameless para. It's a small feature, but it's a nice touch that gives you a lot more flexibility when naming your paras. Okay, this last one isn't really a feature, but more of a little Easter egg. In Paramaker, on the identity card that displays your train boarding pass, there's a tiny QR code printed on it. What surprised me is that you can actually scan it, and if you do, wait for it, it simply gives you a little heart emoticon. Aw, how cute. So those are 21 secret features that you might not know in the game Paralives. So what do you think of these features? And if you've played the game, any other secret features that you found that I haven't mentioned, let us know in the comments down below. Thank you everyone for watching this video, I hope that you like it, and if you do and want more Paralives or other live sim games video in the future, feel free to subscribe to the channel if you haven't. See you later!